2 episodes to talk about today. Bleach episode 18 and 19. So let's talk about 18 for the 1,000-year Blood War arc. That episode deals with Master Masculine, and we're seeing the reveal of Renji's true Bankai. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I didn't really like this fight in the manga, so seeing it animated didn't make me like it any better. So hear me out. Master Masculine defeated like 3 lieutenant class Soul Reapers, right? After they got defeated, Kessen-hen and Rose came by. 2 captain class with holification abilities, right? Yeah, remember that? Hollow powers are poisonous to the witches. Suckers got smacked up left and freaking right. And then after all that happened, then Renji comes by. And obviously, he's the last guy here. He got a power up, so therefore, he gets the W. But here are my problems with this. We didn't have to sacrifice Rose and Kensei here. Rose and Kensei should have been the ones just to defeat Master Masculine. There's so many other Stern Ritters out there that Renji could have just fought somebody else to then hype him up. It just seems like what Kubo decided to do was like, all these guys are actually trash. And Renji actually, he's that top guy now. He's that dude. When it's hard to believe in Renji like that, when Renji, all he does is take L's. And yes, he had that training. He has a new true Bankai. Okay, cool. Bankai form in of itself is like, it's more of a close range, like fighting style now, which is cool, but it's just like, I don't know. I wasn't completely sold on it. But that's not even like the biggest issue. It's not necessarily even just them getting washed and just losing so they can put over Renji. My main problem with the fight is what freaking Master Masculine did. Master Masculine, only reason he survived against Rose and Kensei is because of James. James, if it wasn't for him cheering this man on throughout the entire battle, he would have been dead a long time ago. So it baffles my mind when he finally goes into his Volstanics mode, he decides to just get rid of James. And yes, as long as he's alive, Master Masculine's alive, James comes back. What if you die? And of course, that's what freaking happened. It just like, that was like such a dumb thing to do, to try to like mitigate him so he can take the L, basically. Because again, it just seems like he put himself in a kind of a corner with this guy's ability, because he's pretty unstoppable as long as James is there. And James can't die because that sucker got cut up multiple times, but he just multiplied. So in the end, that's why I didn't like the fight, because it's just like, it was kind of nonsensical. But kudos to freaking Renji for finally unlocking his actual Bankai, so he's not trash no more. So let's go on to episode 19. This episode right here, this was a perfect adaptation though. In a way, it's just very freaking emotional as well. And the Astronaut is actually my favorite freaking Stern Raider, so seeing this episode and what they decided to do and how they made him just one of the creepiest freaking son of a guns you ever seen, it was freaking beautiful. The way they just composited the shots, the way the animation was just presented to us. Rukia's Bankai,
it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's so beautiful. It's the best looking Bankai I ever seen. Her Bankai in a way is similar to Yamamoto's in a way where it just kind of affects everything. Instead of it melting, you freeze to death within an instant, even herself. The only gripe I honestly had, and I had this in the manga as well, is the fact that Byakuya, first of all, is still alive. And secondly, he still kind of stepped in here and there to help Rukia out. In this particular instance, I really wish they allowed Rukia to be the one to just straight up mop the floor with Astronaut. But then I'm conflicted because in some ways, I liked what they decided to do, because Byakuya and Rukia had a moment, and I felt like that moment was very necessary in the fact that Byakuya acknowledged her. But how I would have probably done it is that Rukia should have been there when he was about to die, when Astronaut first fought him. So Byakuya could then acknowledge Rukia then, so we didn't have to do it right now. But that's my small gripe I had with it. Overall, this was just really done so freaking well. Outside of Kuromuro's Bankai, this is definitely my favorite one thus far, animated wise, and just how it got adapted. So kudos to you, Kubo, and to the team. Y'all did your freaking thing. But I do have one concern right now. That is what we're about to see here in the next episode or two. So if y'all didn't know, my favorite character is Kenpachi Zaraki, right? I have to admit something. I didn't like the way the manga did Kenpachi Zaraki's like abilities and everything that happens, because I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it left a sour taste in my mouth, I'm not gonna lie. And with how it's being adapted thus far, it's being pretty faithful to the actual manga. And a lot of these fights are just one episode fights. So because I'm not the biggest fan of the Zaraki Kenpachi fight, I don't know, hopefully maybe the anime can make it better somehow. I mean, they did that with Kuromuro's thing, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I did in the manga. So I'm hoping that maybe the anime, how it adapts it, it makes me understand it more and makes me enjoy the fight more. But I can't help but be a bit concerned is all. Because again, I didn't really like the whole Renji coming through and Master Masculine doing his thing. I didn't enjoy that fight. But I digress. What are your thoughts on Renji's Bankai? What do you think about Rukia's Bankai? Please leave in the comment section below. Tell me your thoughts on these 2 episodes here. Like, dislike, do what you got to do. I will catch you guys in the next one. Until then, people, break out though.
Hold down, throw down.
I mean, they throwing it down. With the hose, let's go.
No, get out of here.
Just one hole. I need to be able to weed my garden, you know?
You already said you didn't want to do yard work. You won't even let me have a